Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my very squeaky chair, relax, and have a conversation with all of you guys that only sort of, kinda, if you squint hard enough, has something to do with the world of card games, collectibles, and TCG finance and all that jazz. You see, over the last few days, there's been a little question making the rounds all over the internet. A little philosophical question posted, I think it was on Twitter first. Basically, it is a two-button question. Two buttons are pushed in front of you. A red button and a blue button. If you push the red one, well, nothing happens. Everybody who pushes the red button is guaranteed to live. You can continue about your day as though nothing has changed. However, if you push the blue button, everybody lives under the condition that at least over half of everybody on the planet also pushes the blue button. If half or less of people choose blue, then everybody who chooses blue dies. Now, these kind of philosophical questions are actually some of my favorite because they are very, I don't want to call them poor philosophical questions, but they are good filter questions because they have a clear, obvious, correct choice. Anyone who chooses blue is unironically an idiot insofar as I'm concerned. Just because red guarantees safety. Red guarantees, well, nothing bad happens to you. And I know it's crazy. There's morals and ethics, and there are a lot of people who try to mask their arguments for pushing blue, and I've seen quite a lot of them over the last few days with moral or ethical dilemmas. But in reality, this question is an IQ test. You can argue about it all you want. You can argue morality and ethics and all that jazz all you want. But at the end of the day, this question is one that has a right answer and a wrong answer. And more to the point, it's one that really rides with your gut instincts and expresses, I think, the kind of person you are deep down. Based on how you choose to approach the two buttons. Because there are people out there who will, unironically, I think, argue in defense of pushing the blue button, even though it is, without a doubt, a poor choice for some emotional reason. They will use some kind of, again, ethical or moral argument to try and justify not only themselves pushing the blue button, but trying to argue that you should choose the hazardous option alongside them. Even though, again, there is the safe, guaranteed option right there. Now, why am I talking about this? Why am I wasting your time talking about this question you guys have probably already gotten quite the rundown on? Well, because in the world, there are situations surprisingly like this one. Not one-to-one scenarios, you know, there's nothing in the world of cardboard or anything there that say that, oh, if only half or more of people play Yu-Gi-Oh, then everyone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh lives. There's nothing like that, obviously. That's not what I'm trying to say. But there are situations, especially in the world of collectibles and finance, where success is kind of dictated by sheer volume, by trying to convince everybody else to get in on the fun, get in on the game of hot potato. You know, this question of, you know, there being a right and a risky choice, it comes up actually quite a lot. There are all sorts of things in the world of alternative financial assets, so to speak, where a big part of the conversation is looking at something objectively and knowing that that is a poor financial decision, and then some other guy coming along and making this long-winded explanation for why, well, if enough people adopt this, it will be very lucrative. But if not enough people adopt it, it will fall apart and be a laughing stock. I'm reminded a lot when I saw this question the first time. The first thought I had, of course, was, well, obviously that's stupid. I'm going to push the red button because I'm not going to gamble my life away for the blue chance, right? However, the second thought I had was, wow, this reminds me an awful lot of cryptocurrencies and NFTs and things like that were popular just a few short years ago, where people were making huge promises of future financial gains if only enough people buy into the scheme. If enough people buy into certain crypto altcoins or whatever, if enough people buy into the concept of NFTs, if enough people move to the metaverse and buy digital houses on the metaverse, everybody who does it will be super crazy financially successful if only enough people invest into it, right? But there's always, of course, the alternative of going, well, cryptocurrencies don't really have a use case for 99% of them, and they're backed by absolutely no value whatsoever. So why would I invest my hard-earned money into that? NFTs are virtually worthless JPEGs that can be owned, sure, but can be copy and pasted as images regardless. And yes, the metaverse is IMVU, but for Facebook. Sure, you could invest enough money into it to make a return, but requiring billions of people to make an investment before you see a return, or at least that's what the projections were looking like based on some videos I was watching. Not great. Not great at all. And yeah, this actually even connects to the world of TCG finance, where you see the MetaZoo is a good example. You could choose to not invest in MetaZoo, in which case nothing bad happens to you. You can move on with your life. But if you invest in MetaZoo, you'll make a lot of money if a lot of other people also invest in MetaZoo. If you choose to not invest in Wonders of the First, nothing changes. Your life continues as normal. You can plug your money in whatever alternate classes of finance you want, or put it in a bank or a 401k or the stock market or whatever. Or if you invest in Wonders of the First, it'll go up as long as enough people invest in Wonders of the First. I don't know. Sometimes you see things like this and your gut instinct is avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. Go the other way and choose the safe option. And when it comes to the world of collectibles, again, this is not a one-to-one equation. This is not me saying, hey, don't buy into new games because they're financial traps. That's not what I'm saying at all. I am, however, saying that a lot of collectibles sell these promises of future gains. You see it a lot. Not as often recently as in the last few years, but you have seen a lot of examples over time of these games that promise huge returns. If only enough investment money comes in, we need just a bit more Kickstarter money and we can implement our online print-to-demand NFT card game. And then everyone will be rich. Just a few more million people investing into Meta, and then Meta will be profitable, right? Again, it's, just want to hammer this home. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but I saw this and I was really reminded of, in life, there can be right and wrong options, and it's easy to look back at things like NFTs or MetaZoo and think that, oh man, investing in those is a terrible idea. Look at how much they've fallen. But it's also very easy in the moment to look at things like NFTs or MetaZoo and go, why would I invest in this? These are awful. I suppose there's no real lesson here to impart upon you kids other than I found this entire question very silly. I've been watching it all day basically. There's even a video up right now, people trying to argue why pushing blue makes you a good person and pushing red makes you a sociopath. Crazy stuff. But yeah, if your gut instinct tells you that something is a bad idea, you should listen to your gut. Try to understand why. Your gut's telling you it's a bad idea, but listen to your gut. You know, you can work off of instincts and still be very right. And no amount of people telling you that it's a good idea will turn it into a good idea if it's inherently a terrible idea. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't don't push the blue button is what I'm trying to say. Push the red button. Choose the safe, guaranteed option. And in the world of collectibles, choose the intelligent option. Don't. What I'm really trying to say here is, I think about the message. If a new game comes along, and a huge part of its marketing, or if a huge part of the people trying to sell you on the game is centered around, yo, bro. Sorry, let me get my. Hey, bro, if you would just invest into my new money TCG, and everybody else on your friends list invests in the money TCG, and everybody on their friends list invests in the money TCG, we'll all be super mega rich and print all the money. If that's how a new game or collectible is being advertised to you, or a new financial class is being advertised to you, you're probably a mark. You're probably a stooge in a game of hot potato where you will be left holding some bags. So that's my point. That's my point of view anyway. You guys have yourselves a good day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Be sure to... I'm sure there's a button down there by now. Push the red one. Don't choose to gamble away. Don't choose to gamble away what could easily be a guaranteed success. Check out the Discord, the Patreon, the TCG player link, all that stuff down below. Have yourselves a great day. Ciao. Boop.